Hey guys, today we're talking about solving multi-step equations. So let's look at some examples. If we have an equation that has the distributive property in here, we know that we cannot take x plus 5 on its own. So we can distribute the 3 to the x and to the 5. When we do so, we get 3x, and 3 times 5 is 15. And that equals 45. Now we have a two-step equation. So we've got to combine our like terms and get this 15 away from the 3x. So to do that, we do its opposite, which is negative 15, and we get 3x equaling 30. So now we have to get rid of the 3 in front of the x. So we divide by 3, and we get x equaling 10. So this is 3 steps that we had to do. That's a lot of work, and make sure that you check your answer. At least do it with a calculator. So I'm going to plug in my calculator 10 plus 5, and I get 15. And then I'm going to multiply that by 3, and I get 45. So I know that it works. Go ahead and try this next one with me. Show your jumps with your 5 to the n and to the negative 2. Don't forget that that's not a positive 2. So this is 5n, and 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. And that equals negative 30. So now we have a two-step equation. We have to get the 10 with the 30 because they are like terms. We don't want to move the 5n or this 30. We want to separate the 5n from the 10. So to get rid of a negative, we add 10. When we do so, we get 5n equaling negative 20. Now I want to separate the 5 from the n, so I'm going to divide by 5 because they're held through multiplication, and to undo multiplication we divide. So we get n equaling negative 4. Go ahead and grab your calculator and check my work. If you plug in negative 4 minus 2, you get negative 6. And negative 6 times 5 is negative 30. So it checks. Okay, go ahead and try these 3 on your own, and I'll be back in just a second to show you what I did. Okay, so the first step, make sure that you show your jumps. So you get 2x plus 8 equaling 20. Take 8 away from both sides, and you're left with 2x equaling 12. So then we divide by 2, and we get x equaling 6. Okay, in the next one, you're going to distribute the 3 to both of these. So you get 3b minus 18. Not a positive because that's a negative 6. And then that equals 12. So add 18 to both sides. And on this side, we have 12 plus 18 is 30, equaling our 3b. Divide by 3 to get the b by itself, and b equals 10. We have a negative 7, so be careful with that one. So on this side, you get negative 42. Over here, we get negative 7d equaling 49. So we want to get rid of this 42. So add 42 to both sides, and we're left with negative 7d equaling 91. Now we have a negative 7 in front of the d, so to get rid of it, we divide by negative 7, and d equals negative 13. Remember, don't forget to check your work. Go ahead and plug the 6 back in, the 10 back in, and the negative 13 back in just to make sure that you're right. Okay, so let's try some different ones. What if we have something that looks like this? Okay, don't freak out. It's just a fraction. So 2/3 times n is 2/3 n. 2/3 times 6. Take it in your calculator. 2/3 times 6. If you don't have a calculator, you can always multiply like this. Remember, it goes in twice. This one goes in once. So that's plus 4. So now we have one that we're used to. So take the 4 away from both sides, and we're left with 2/3 n equaling 6. So you can do it either way. You can divide by 2/3 on both sides, or you can flip and multiply. It's up to you. So if you have a calculator, divide it. If you don't, we're going to flip it and multiply it. So we get 6 times 3 halves. And so we can have the 6 over the 1. 6 and 2 can be simplified. So we get 3 on top and 1 on the bottom. And 3 times 3 is 9. So n equaling 9. Let's try this one. Decimals, again, don't be afraid. Just multiply them. So we've got 2/10 c minus a negative 3 times 2/10 gives you a negative 6/10. And that equals negative 10. Okay, so to get the 6/10, that's negative, away from the 2/10 c, we have to add 6/10 to both sides. These are, oops, that's supposed to be a 6. These are different signs, so we take the sign of the bigger and we subtract. So over here we're left with 2/10 times c, and over here we're left with negative 9 and 4/10. So let's divide by 2/10, and we get c equaling a negative 47. Okay, let's check our work on that one. Plug in negative 47 minus 3 in your calculator. You should get negative 50. Then multiply that by 0.2 and we get negative 10. If you did, then it works. Okay, same thing up here. You can check your work always with a calculator. Go ahead and try these, and I'll be back in just a second to show you the answers. Okay, so I'm going to show you my work. I want you to check your work carefully and pause the video so that way you can examine with a red pen. You must try these and show me your work with a red pen. Okay, so on this first one, you get a 4th d minus 3/4 equaling negative 15 because we distributed the 4th to each. So add 3/4 to both sides and we're left with a 4th d, and these have different signs, so we get 14 and 1/4. You can divide by 1/4, or you can multiply and flip it over and you would multiply by 4. So your answer would be d equals 57. Over here, okay, so we get 75/100 times 6 is 4 and 5/10 plus, and 75/100 times d is 75/100 d, and that equals 12. So take the 4 and 5/10 away from both sides, and then when we get our answer, we have to get rid of the 75/100 by dividing it. So we get d equals 10. Over here, we get 5/9 t plus, and this was like multiplying 3 over 1, so I get 1 here, 3 here, so I get 5/3 equaling 40. So I'm going to subtract 5/3 from both sides, and when I do that, I get 5/9 t equaling 38 and 1/3. You can then divide by 5/9, or you can flip and multiply, which means you have to change this 38 and a third into thirds. 38 times 3 is 114, plus 1 more is 115 thirds. So we'd flip this 9/5 and we'd multiply. So you know that 3 goes into 9 3 times and itself once, and it goes into, or 5 goes into 115 23 times and itself once. So 3 times 23 is 69. So t equals 69. Okay, let's try a word problem. Jake and 2 cousins received the same amount of money to go to the movie. Each boy spent $15. Afterward, the boys had $30 altogether. Write and solve an equation to find the amount of money each boy received. Let M represent the amount of money each boy received. So we've got 3 boys going to the movies, and they have an amount of money, and they take away 15, and that equals 30. So 3 times your money and 3 times how much they each spent, which was 15, gives you 3 times M minus 45 equaling 30. So add 45 to both sides, and we're left with 3M equaling 75. Take 3 away, and M equals $25. Go ahead and try this one, and I will be back in just a second to show you what I did. Okay, so here's how I did it. So some information we know. There's 3 bags and he uses 8 from each. So he also tells us that there's 21 balloons left over. So that's what we set equal. So 3 bags with an amount of balloons taken 8 away. So 3 times our balloons is 3b minus 24 equaling 21. So add 24 to both sides and we get 3b equaling 55. Divide by 3. Whoops, I meant 45. So b equals 15 balloons. And that's all I've got for you.